Bonjour, mes amis. I'm Bernardi, the Demon Fairy Snail, and welcome to the 10th retro episode. Yay! In this episode, we're reviewing the 1953 comic book Shock Suspense Stories Issue 9, published by the defunct publisher EC Comics. This book was published in June 1953, shortly before the pesky Comic Books Authority killed the publisher and forced the comic book industry to devolve into campiness and silly stories for children, something comics didn't recover from for nearly 3 decades. But I digress. The first tale is an adaptation of Ray Bradbury's The October Game. Now, normally, I would praise the story's execution and masterful build-up of suspense. However, this story really rubbed me the wrong way. Similarly to why I hated Catcher in the Rye, the protagonist is the one at fault. In this case, it's a father named Mitch, who is a very despicable man. And really, the October Game didn't really fit with this type of stories from the Tales from the Crypt and spin-offs, where we always see horrible people who end up getting their comeuppance. In this case, the father, Mitch, from the October Game, he didn't get his comeuppance. It was so frustrating. So, what happened in this story? Well, we have this awful man named Mitch who outright hates his daughter because of stupid reasons, really. Mitch hates his daughter because, first of all, she's a girl and he's a sexist. And second of all, because she's a blonde and he has dark hair. Seriously. What a scumbag. He's one of those scumbags who wanted to have a son so that he could do manly things with him. Like going to the baseball games and stuff like that. But if he had been smarter, he would have done the same things with his daughter. But I digress. You know, stupid people from the 50s and stuff. Otherwise, the daughter gives no reason to be hated so much. She's a very sweet kid. I'm guessing the mother is at fault because the mother acted like such a B-word from the moment she was born. And I guess she antagonized the father a lot. But still, that doesn't justify or excuse what the father has been doing and what he ultimately does to his daughter. What a dumbass. Ugh. So, during a Halloween party, the eponymous October Game takes place. And Mitch, that monster, ends up killing his own daughter and then dismembers her. And then he has all the partygoers turn off the lights in the basement and they play a blind game where they have to guess what organs they're touching. Well, the sick mother effer starts handing out the organs and body parts of his daughter, and everyone thinks, oh, this is spaghetti, or this is, things that are not body parts. Well, the partygoers are oblivious, and ultimately the mother starts realizing that the daughter is missing, and the mother realizes that what's going on, and then some person in the party turns on the lights. And well, they leave the rest to the imagination, but you can figure out what happens. It was very unpleasant and bloody. So yeah, I hated the October game. It was suspenseful and things, but I hate stories where bad people do not get their comeuppance. That's like the trademark of Tales from the Crypt and The Vault of Horror and all of these other stories. And speaking of which, that takes us to the second story, which is Came the Dawn, which is about a woodsman named Bob who finds a lost girl named Kathy in his cabin in the woods. It seems Bob and Kathy are falling in love. And it was all going well until Bob heard a news report on the radio. The news report was about an escaped mental patient. And lo and behold, the escaped mental patient's description fit Kathy perfectly. And so Bob thinks that Kathy is dangerous and she's going to kill him. So he ends up locking Kathy out of the cabin. Kathy starts begging Bob to let her back in. And then her pleas grow very desperate as she starts crying for help. But Bob refuses to relent. And then, when Kathy finally becomes silent, Bob opens up, and to his horror, he ends up finding Kathy's corpse, naked. And we see the escaped mental patient walking away wearing Kathy's clothes. Yikes! So, because of a misunderstanding, Bob was wrong about Kathy, and Kathy was a good girl all along, and now she's dead. Oh my goodness. That's messed up. So the moral of the story is that Kathy and Bob should have been more honest and open with each other. Ah, goodness. It was clearly a misunderstanding, but still, how awful. In this kind of story, I don't mind that Bob didn't get his comeuppance because it wasn't really Bob's fault. I mean, what would you do in that situation if you, by incredible circumstances, the person you were with matched the description of a dangerous criminal? So yeah. Now, for the third story, that's my favorite one. Now, the third story is perhaps my favorite of the book. It is titled The Meddlers. And it is about a scientist who moves into a small town. And as soon as he starts talking to the nosy townspeople, he is rejected by them. Because apparently those people have a problem with a scientist trying to create life. Frankenstein style. And so the townspeople become incredibly hostile. I mean, needlessly hostile, like goodness. Like, my goodness. You didn't have to be such jerks about it. And really, the poor scientist, he didn't hurt anyone. He was just trying to do something fun and creative. But, as you know, things escalate, and they get really worse as the town elders turn everyone, even children, against the poor scientist. And he gets harassed. The harassment gets so bad, the scientist ultimately dies. And his lab is ransacked. Unbeknownst to the attackers, the scientist's creation ends up coming to life and finds its way down the drain. And while it is in the sewers, it starts mutating and becomes a flesh-eating blob that ends up mutilating the townsfolk. And, they deserved it. I was actually rooting for the flesh-eating blob to do more mayhem. Those people were jerks. Now, the fourth story, and the last one. That one is called Carrion Death, and it follows a criminal that ends up handcuffed to a police officer, which he murders. So, the criminal has to carry around the corpse of the policeman, and he has to wander the desert. Yikes. You can imagine being under the heat of the desert carrying a rotting carcass. That's gross. And it doesn't help that there are hungry vultures following you around. So for the next several days, the criminal, whenever he wakes up, he finds the vultures devouring the policeman. And ultimately, there's nothing left but bones. And the vultures move on to the criminal. But what makes the criminal's death so shocking and horrifying is that while he gets eaten, he's completely conscious and aware of what is going on. But because he's dead, so he's kind of like, he's like a spirit that is trapped inside of his corpse, watching as the vultures eat his body. That's very scary. That's very disturbing. It's the kind of nightmare that everyone dreads to have. So, those are the 4 stories. There was a 5th story, but that one was just a small prose of 2 pages about a person who went to have his leg amputated and ends up having the wrong leg amputated. I didn't like it, and really, it doesn't really count as a story because, it wasn't really a comic book tale. So I'm only counting 4. Those were the 4 main stories. The third one about the blob was easily my favorite. The flesh-eating blob that maimed the meddling town jerks reminded me a lot of the Blob from the Blob movies. The 1988 remake and the 1958 original film and the sequel that came in the 60s. Those were fun. Since this comic book was published in June 1953, that means that this story predated the Blob by 5 years. Or at least by 4 years. I wonder if the filmmakers of the Blob were aware of this comic and copied it by mistake, or if it was just a coincidence, or if they were well aware of its existence and they just decided to copy the premise of a flesh-eating blob. So, despite my dislike for the father Mitch in the October Game, I guess the October Game is a fitting horror story for this Halloween season, and it still feels somewhat timeless because that's the kind of thing that can happen even to this day. It had a very urban legend quality to it, although I hated it. And I hated that Mitch didn't suffer any consequences for what he did to his daughter. Unlike the other stories in this magazine. So, but I digress. So, if you enjoy old school horror and Tales from the Crypt and similar stories, you will enjoy Shock Suspense Stories Issue 9. And so, final verdict? Match it. I love these Halloween decorations that our friend Cosmic Hamster sent us all the way from the UK. Oh yeah. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Au revoir. Night night. Boo.